Come on, Odor, catch the fucking ball, man.
Hey, dude, watch the swearing. This is
Sorry,
family programming.
I'm sorry. I apologize. It's just
what the hell, man?
These Yankees get me frustrated. I was ready to break the TV last night.
What the hell, man?
What the hell?
Take it easy.
Catch the ball.
Take it easy, man. Damn.
Welcome back to the stream, guys. Sports Talk starts in about 5 minutes. Hopefully we can stay on air long enough. The FCC might be coming after us because of Kyle.
I apologize.
And their damn Yankees.
These damn
Yankees.
We cuss
Kyle driver over here is cussing up a storm.
Don't worry, it won't happen again, guys. You know what? Let me just change this game.
Yeah, why don't you do that? Why don't you watch?
Olympic rowing.
Yeah, let me watch that. Right, let me watch either that
Olympic
or
rowing. There's nothing more therapeutic than some Olympic rowing.
God, that's boring.
Let me watch that because this is not cutting.
I'm just happy we cut the Chris Paul talk out. I didn't want to talk about Chris Paul for the 15th episode.
I swear Leon's got a bigger crush on Chris Paul than he does on Kyle Lowry at this point.
Kyle Lowry, he says he's interested in the Lakers.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Him and DeRozan.
Leon's dream would be to go out to eat with both Kyle Lowry and Chris Paul, but he would be kind of squeezed in between them, all sitting on the same side of the table.
Be a lot of egos on that table. Yeah, but if they go ring chasing in the in Los Angeles, they'd be tough to beat, man.
Yeah.
But we can get into that.
Yeah, don't spoil the sports talk, Leon. Don't cannibalize the show, Leon. Now Leon's not talking at all.
I'm just thinking.
What are you thinking about, Leon? The world wants to know.
Oh, we'll talk about it. But super team stuff kind of in my head.
I can't wait to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
You guys ready to get started here?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
We got more viewers than panelists, so let's get going.
No, actually, I think the viewers are actually one of them's me.
Yeah, one of them's me.
Okay, one of them's me.
Yeah, so we definitely don't have.
It's all of us and Jason Hill.
What is going on here?
No, you know what? Sometimes too, I'm
they didn't double get notification.
They're not getting the notification, so
yeah.
But that's okay. I mean, I don't know about you guys. I do this mostly for fun.
Of course.
This is probably the funnest show we do.
Since I don't work around people anymore, I don't get to talk to sports with many people. So
fuck, man. Well, let's do this shit, man.
Yeah.
Let's do this shit. Look at this. We got Neil in here. We got some. All right, now there's some people showing up.
All right, there we go.
All right, here we can start the show now.
As you all are kind of coming in here, please hit a like on this video because this one needs it more than any other. And because we just a few minutes ago, all of the viewers were us and Jason Hill, who Jason Hill is picking a fight with Jason Mead earlier.
Mm-hmm. No, we're all good. We're all good.
Oh, you guys worked it out.
Yeah, we're both named Jason, so I know he's a smart guy.
I think he was worried about you popping out in that singlet to teach him a little lesson.
I always have it on. You never know when a wrestling match is going to break out.
So can I ask you a question though, Jason? Like,
yeah,
for a man who's ready at any moment to lunge and attack.
That's why I keep my hair short. I don't want anybody grabbing it in case a street fight breaks out.
Right. No, I get it. But my question is, like, as you're picking out your attire for the day, so you tend to go with the shallow V, right?
Yeah, it's just
the shallow V.
I do have a lot of crew neck ones too. Yeah, mix it up.
Yeah, but I tend to see you 95% of the time in a shallow V.
Uh-huh.
So so you're not a guy who's into the aesthetics. So for me, I'm not wearing a
I'm not wearing for you dress poorly.
No.
You really don't give a fuck anymore.
I'm not. Oh, Rafael Devers just hit another 3-run homer.
I know.
So listen. So I'm not wearing a shallow V if I'm also gonna consider wearing a singlet later on in the week because the tan lines might be a little bit off-putting. Or is that part of your wrestling strategy to like?
They definitely are off-putting, but I'm not gonna go sit outside in the sun in a singlet unless there is a wrestling.
Yeah, be careful of that finishing move, the Medusa mirror.
But Jason, I need to ask a question. It's a serious question. Now I know you think I'm being playful here, but I'm not. I really want to know.
Okay.
So you wear the shallow V, you get a lot of sun as you're kind of doing the yard work and so on and so forth, and you've got this kind of tan line, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a distraction tactic? Like you're like, all right, Pierre's coming at me. I tear off my shirt, my singlets there.
Mm-hmm.
He focuses on my shallow V tan line, and I kick him in the balls. Is that part of your strategy?
It really depends how the lighting is, because if the lights are turned up a lot, it could be really distracting for sure.
Or blinding.
Or blind, yeah. I mean,
if the singlet comes down here, you got the V, and then you've got that white patch of skin. Sun hits it right, I'm fucked.
Oh, and the singlet, that's a deep V.
That's a deep V.
Yeah, deep.
Deep V. All right, so we're here to talk sports, right? So we're fucking around here while we're waiting for more viewers besides just ourselves, and I think we're there. So we've got 11 additional. So let's jump into this, fellas.
All right, hold on 1 second. There we go.
Why didn't you record the rest of it? The rest of it was good.
There was no breaking action.
Oh, Leon, you record at the beginning.
I know, but we didn't get a good start. So
that was gold.
That's a YouTube exclusive right now.
That was our Marconi right there. You just lost it for us. Damn.
I don't know about you, Jason. I'm pretty pissed off.
You might be seeing the singlet here in a little bit.
Fuck yeah! You might
getting the armpits ready.
Kyle Driver might come out.
It might come out. It might come out. I think I'm a little too big for the singlet.
No, dude,
you're never too big for a singlet.
No, never too big.
No,
never too big. Brock Lesnar wore a singlet.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I'm not sure Kyle should be built like Brock Lesnar.
Brock Lesnar's a different type of big. He's more of a muscular big. I'm more of a fluffy big.
Okay. He said puffy. You say puffy or fluffy?
Fluffy.
All right. Let's jump into this, guys. Let's jump into this. All right, we're gonna start here with Giannis. So, I think the question here is Giannis, now that he's won this championship, do you think he's the best player in the NBA?
I think he is definitely in the upper tier. He had a lot of questions going in, like, can he carry his team? Can he do it in the playoffs? He did in the last game. He hit like almost every free throw, right? He was like 16 for 17.
Yeah. Man, this guy starts hitting his free throws, man. The world's in trouble.
Yeah. So he doesn't have much of a mid-range game right now, but I mean, like, he takes 2 steps and he's into the paint right now. So he's in that upper echelon. He gets a little bit more points because he's a little bit younger. His resume at 26 is insane.
Ridiculous, yeah.
Right? So
I read. Did you say, like, when you think about, he was Defensive Player of the Year, right?
Yep.
Last year.
And
MVP twice, right?
Twice.
Yep.
Yeah.
Twice.
Yeah. So 2 of the last 3 have been him.
He's won a championship.
Yeah.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Finals MVP.
He's not a component of a super team.
No.
He is a super team.
Do you feel like one of the biggest changes for him is, like, in the past he was trying to do too much? And he played more within himself?
Yeah, I think he let the game come to him a lot more in this finals. I don't think he forced as much as even in the playoffs this year, in prior series that he had, where he was doing a lot of stuff that's just not in his game. It's not how he plays at his best. In the finals, I just think, and also the Suns had him. DeAndre Ayton was guard. I mean, come on, DeAndre Ayton cannot guard him. What?
Yeah.
Who can?
I mean, who? No, you're right. Nobody can. That's for
I don't
sure.
think anybody in the NBA right now can guard
stop him.
Not individually.
In the paint. No.
No, yeah.
Not individually, but there have been times where he's kind of been shut down or at least neutralized.
Yeah.
And then his surrounding pieces hadn't been able to step up. Chris Middleton was big in this. Like he
was.
Normally,
you're right. Middleton took a lot of pressure off him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If you remember, I did say I thought the Suns were going to win the series, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I said the X factor was going to be if Middleton could keep it going, and he continued that hot streak that the Bucks were gonna win. And listen, he took an immense amount of pressure off this guy.
Correct.
Immense.
Right. They didn't really use Brook Lopez in the finals, right?
Here and there, but
they didn't really have to because
yeah.
Their advantage was Giannis at center.
The Suns had some injury issues at center, so beyond Ayton, they didn't really have a whole lot.
Mm-hmm.
So they didn't really need Lopez to take up space in the middle like they normally would have.
If you really break it down, the Suns weren't really much deeper than 7 or 8 guys, right?
No.
Right.
And it really started showing as the series got longer.
Yeah.
Did it matter?
No.
This
What's
guy
scary? He's only 26, man. That's what's scary. He can actually get better. As crazy as that sounds.
I don't think he's at
like
his
you
full
said,
potential.
Pierre. If he were to get a jump shot, it doesn't even have to be like a Steph Curry jump shot. If it's just a consistent jump shot where he keeps the other team honest and they have to kind of guard it, I mean, then there's nothing you can do.
If he forces the defense to him with a mid-range jumper and he takes that Euro step right around him, he's going to be nearly impossible to guard one-on-one. I see some comments about like Kevin Durant is still playing, so he's not the best player in the game. Kevin Durant doesn't play defense. So Giannis is he's one of the top defenders in the league right now. Yes, Durant's probably a better scorer.
Not probably. He is a better scorer.
He is a better scorer.
I mean, KD might be the best scorer we've ever seen.
Right.
One of them.
But I think that's a lot in the NBA, right? Being the best scorer is.
I think Giannis is a better all-around player. I mean, when you think about the totality of his game, but Durant is a far superior scorer.
Sure, yeah.
Durant's also older, coming off a little, has a little bit more miles on the tread.
At 26, he was a better scorer than Giannis.
Yeah,
correct. I mean, Giannis came in the league really, really raw. But I mean, if you really break it down, KD took him to 7. Had an injured team, and if he wore like a half a size shoe smaller, we might be talking real different, right? He hit that game tying shot.
Sure.
Would have been, if that's a 3, the game's over. And we'd be saying like, Giannis can't get it done in the playoffs because that's been the rap on him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And D'Anthony saying check KD's ranking and block shots. That doesn't make him a superior defensive player.
Yeah,
he's a 7-footer guarding guards. He's going to have block shots.
He's going to have block shots. I mean, I don't want to just attack you for that comment. I'm just saying that there's
more into defense than blocks.
Yeah, there's far better ways to evaluate defensive prowess of a player than block shots. And I don't know.
KD's a good individual defender, but I think a lot of the teams that he's been on in the past haven't really been known as defensive teams.
Yeah, he's also not guarding the other team's best player.
He's an average defensive player, Leon.
They're protecting him on the defensive end of the floor.
No, I mean he's had Draymond.
Klay Thompson, who's a superior
Serge Ibaka on his team. Like he's had he's never been known as a defensive stalwart. But I mean the guy is like 7'2" wingspan. And like Jason said, he's usually covering a guard or a 3, right?
Let me ask you a question. At 26 years old, who are you taking? If you're starting a team at 26 years old, you taking Giannis or you taking Durant?
Oh, that's a tough question.
Yeah, that's
if you're starting a team right now, right? And you don't have any other pieces, but you got to start with either Durant or Giannis. Who you're starting with?
Look, Kevin Durant is the more skilled player, but we've never seen him individually carry a team like we have Giannis. He's always had something else to work with. I feel like.
So
Man,
we've never really seen that.
You starting your team with Giannis?
I think I'm leaning Giannis because we've never seen what the Kevin Durant show looks like.
We did.
As the marquee guy, you think so?
Yeah.
He's had Russell though.
Yeah,
Russell
but
controlled the
Russell's-
ball, man. As soon as they start losing, a lot of times Russell wouldn't give up the ball, and it turned into the Russell hero ball stuff.
Yeah.
That's part of the reason why he left.
I'm starting the team with Durant.
Yeah, I would say Durant as well. Those years when he was at OKC, I know what you're saying, Leon. Yeah, he did.
26.
But
Yeah.
Durant was great at 21. I mean, he came into the league completely as a scorer already.
Yeah.
I mean,
Durant's a hateable guy.
More
Let's,
highly
let's be,
touted.
let's be honest here. Durant's a hateable guy, right?
yeah.
He is. He's a hateable guy. I mean, he's just not like Giannis. Giannis is a guy that you just kind of you like.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know, man. Giannis is the kind of guy you like. Durant's the kind of guy that's easy to hate.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm starting a team and they're both 26 years old, I'm starting with Durant.
Mm.
You could build around him quite easily.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, like
Whose
rings
rings are worth more to you? The two that Durant has, or the one?
No,
Giannis. Yeah.
Giannis.
Not even. Yeah.
I don't know.
Only for the fact I say Giannis because yes, KD was, in my opinion, he was the best player on those Golden State teams. We know Steph Curry was the guy, of course, but just as far as the player, Durant was the best player on that team. But this one, I felt like Giannis earned this. Like he'd been with Milwaukee his whole career, and he didn't have the same type of players.
That's a good segue, Kyle. That's a good segue.
Oh, hold on. I think he kind of lucked out in this playoffs.
Giannis, right?
Yeah,
a little bit.
Just because he didn't play the Lakers, the Clippers,
a healthy Brooklyn team.
A healthy Brooklyn team. He didn't play even a Utah.
They weren't good enough to play him. Let's be real. At the end of the day, they weren't good enough to play him. So if they were, they'd be here.
Yeah.
This feels a lot like, honest to God, to me, it feels a lot like the Raptors 2019 run. Very similar. The big matchup was in the second round, right? Yeah.
No, but I get what you're saying, Jason. I mean, sometimes like the chips fall a certain way.
Yeah, right. And that's how it goes sometimes.
That's how
it's not his fault.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not his fault.
I'm not. No, obviously,
being a Patriots fan, I saw that happen with the Patriots multiple times where the chips fell a certain way, and but that's part of the game. Yeah, you know, that's part of this game. I mean, that's just the way things go. But it's a great segue to talk about super teams a little bit. And are they? I mean, wow, that's a pretty hefty image of super teams. But are they good for the NBA? Bad for the NBA? What are your thoughts here, guys? I'd like to start with Kyle on this one.
So I think super teams are definitely, I would say I think the NBA loves the super teams as far as when it brings controversy to the NBA, as far as, you know, people rooting against super, because everybody hates a super team. So I think there's more eyes when you have super teams in the NBA. I mean, those years with Golden State, how many people were hoping that they would lose? You know, they would just hate it. Then obviously when LeBron went to Miami, he became a villain overnight once he said he's going to South Beach. So I think super teams are needed, and obviously you need the best players to win a championship in the NBA. Like you just do. Like you're not gonna do it with mediocre talent. You need the best players to win. Obviously the Bucks had Giannis, who's one of the top 5 best players in the NBA, and obviously he didn't have a super team with him. But I think super teams are something that you need in the NBA, just for all around purposes, for everything.
What do you think, Jason?
I think, I mean, I agree with Kyle. I think the NBA loves them just because money-wise, super teams sell. I mean, they're a good story. That you're either gonna love them or you hate them, so it gives you that little villain or hero factor. I just think that's the way the NBA is built now. Especially in the NBA, like you only need 2 to 3 guys to really give you a chance at winning a championship. So you can give max contracts to 3 guys and basically make the conference finals, right? I don't know. they're exciting sometimes, but if you're on the other side of the losing side of them, I can see where you might think they suck big time.
Yeah, I'm mixed about this. Right. There's one side of me that was very happy for KG to get his ring after suffering multiple times in Minnesota. It obviously didn't work out for him, you know. But then I've also had to watch Chris Bosh not get it done in Toronto, and then watch him be very, very successful in Miami, and then, you know, LeBron kicking the Raptors' ass all the time in Cleveland. It wasn't so much fun when, you know, we just knew when it makes like the regular season kind of like just get it over with. Let's just let's just replay the Warriors versus the Cavs, because those are obviously the teams. But something about this year made it really annoying with the Nets. The Nets were just really, really unlikable. Like KD gets called a bitch, he leaves, and then they just keep like adding pieces. Like James Harden fakes that he's fat or comes to camp out of shape to force a trade. Now all of a sudden the Rockets don't really get anything for him or get fair market value. Then they're adding these players, because this is what I was thinking about before the show, was like, you know, what other sport allows teams to just add players from other like oh, let's just release Blake Griffin because he's pretending to be shit in Detroit, and then he can get paid minimum money to join. That's what I don't really like about it.
I'm with you, Leon. I think if it's created organically,
right,
it's different.
That's
so
why
like I saw Ray in the comments here saying there's always been super teams like the Lakers, but they were created organically. It's not like three players went down a back alley and said, let's manipulate a way to get all on the same team to create our own little like quasi pickup game. Like it's different. I mean, and you know what? My Celtics, I believe, are the ones that kind of started this shit, right?
The 08 Celtics?
The 08 Celtics, in my opinion, were maybe I'm wrong here, but I felt like they're the ones that kind of started that shit.
I feel like the Lakers, but then the Lakers don't really get that much credit because they didn't actually run the table and win. Yeah. Right. But the Lakers were kind of, at least for me, was like, all right, like you're really going to put Gary Payton and Karl Malone. But that is a little bit different because they're like, they weren't in their prime.
They were past their prime, though.
Yeah, they were
chasing. These were old timers at that point, just trying to ride the coattails of Shaq and Kobe.
Yeah.
But then each one got like younger and younger and younger. So then it's like, okay, so like KD's just going to leave in his prime. Like that's when it like really reached its like boiling point, right? So you got like the Lakers, you got Gary Payton and Karl Malone past their prime.
But let me ask you a question though. When did you feel like it was first like? So this is what I don't believe. I don't believe the Celtics. Like I don't believe Garnett, Ray Allen, and Pierce were like, all right, guys, let's find a way to manipulate. Where do you think it started? Where the players kind of led that?
The
Miami team, the 11 Heat team. They actually made plans in the summer to sign with the Heat. Yeah, actually, it wasn't with the Heat. They were.
They just agreed to play together.
They would play during the Olympics. Now they just needed to figure out to manipulate the front office to actually happen, and it just happened that the Heat had the draft capital and the salary cap space to.
That's what I don't like.
Yeah.
Right? The fact that like there's all of this tinkering around. So in baseball, you can't do this. Football, you can't do this. So like it's got to be a small team. And the NBA is primed for this, right? Because if you get three superstars on the same team, I mean, if you're healthy, I mean, and I think Brooklyn is like the super team on steroids.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now it's like, all right, now it's not 3, it's not 4, it's not 5. It's like, all right, we're going to load the whole roster.
Yeah.
What made Brooklyn so much more annoying is like they would just tank their performance in their original team, so then now their team gets nothing for them. Yeah. Right. Like I feel like
yeah, you're Blake right. That's such a dick move.
Yeah, Brooklyn.
That's exactly what Blake Griffin did.
Yeah, he hadn't dunked in like 2 years, and then all of a sudden
he's catching alley oops.
Off the backboard and alley oops and whatever. Like that kind of dogging it really hits close to home to me because like that's kind of how Vince Carter left Toronto. Like he purposely played bad, so we didn't get nothing for him, and that set our franchise back.
I don't think Blake Griffin was purposely playing bad. He had some injury issues. He just wasn't motivated in Detroit, right?
Fair enough.
So he got out, and then he ends up on the Nets. I don't think he was trying
to get what they get.
Yeah, what you
For
said
the
is
Rockets,
what you said is think, right, Jason? You're right. Like, because none of us know like what was in his head, but I mean, it's the perception could be that he was dogging it a bit. I mean,
sure.
but it also could be your perception, which is like, no, he wasn't. He was just injured. But I think the bigger point here is, for me, I don't like the idea of a super team that's created in back alleys.
Right.
If it's a great team that's assembled organically the right way, I want to see that. I do. And we have seen that, right?
Yeah, no, for sure.
I don't want to see it this way.
Yeah.
So
it's like a test tube team.
Right. That's why I really don't consider, on this screen anyway, the Cavaliers to be a super team. And
first of all,
Warriors,
Kevin Love. Yeah.
Right. Well, Kevin Love was a perennial all-star in Minnesota, right? But but Kyrie was drafted there. So was LeBron. I know he left to Miami and came back, but whatever.
Yeah, you're right.
And I also don't consider the Warriors. I know a lot of people will disagree with me.
No,
the Warriors, they were a homegrown team and they added another superstar. That's not obviously a super team by talent. Sure.
Yeah. What do you think, Jay? What do you think, Leon? You said you think it's a super team?
Hell yeah. So they're the best on record. They have the record for the best team.
They're really, really good.
And then they took their weakest link in their death lineup, which was Harrison Barnes, and you replaced him with Kevin Garnett.
That's just good team management.
I agree. That's just good team.
Yeah.
Bob Myers just knew how to do what he was supposed to do. Honestly.
Yeah, because I'm not certain that. See, the thing, like, again, we got to move on here, but I don't think in that specific instance it was Steph Curry and Clay getting together and saying, "Hey, man, let's talk to Kevin Durant. Let's finagle a way to make this happen." I don't think that's what happened there. I think that's the general manager assembling something.
Right.
Well, there's talk. Like, Draymond had a conversation with Durant. It's like, sorry, we beat you. Just come over.
Free agent. To me, a super team, like what we're talking, is when a good team goes out and signs 3 or 4 free agents.
Right. Like, look at the Nets. Right. Look at the Nets.
Look, they had the best record. They lost to LeBron, and their counter is to get KD. That's a bitch move. Sorry.
That's not a bitch move. That's
a bitch move.
I don't know. I think that's
getting better.
Smart move. It's a smart move.
I think that's the right move. I think that's the right move. I don't know.
They get a lot of flack for that, and I don't think they deserve it. They did a thing that made their team better by adding a piece and subtracting another. I don't know. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
I think it invalidates their championships a little bit. To me,
oh my God. Kyle Lowry invalidates Toronto's championships because he's a pudgy little Dunkin' Donuts boy. Anyway, let's go.
Wow. All right.
We didn't get to add KD. I don't know. Like,
all right. So
any team that adds KD should win more championships.
Toronto did the same thing with Kawhi Leonard. So doesn't that invalidate their championship?
We didn't add him after having the best record ever.
You added him, you won a championship, and he left. Now you can't. That's the same argument.
Leon, I kind of it's rare that I disagree with you, Leon, but I don't think adding Kevin Durant after losing to LeBron constitutes a creation of a super team, so to speak. I think that's a general manager seeing a hole or a weakness and has an opportunity to plug that hole and does it. Mm-hmm. When I think about like this whole concept, I think more of like the Heat.
The Heat, right? Yeah. All 3 of them came together at once.
Yeah.
Or even the Celtics for that matter.
Yeah, even the Celtics. I mean, basically you had Rondo and Pierce there, right? And then you get Ray Allen and Garnett there. I mean, that to me is even closer to it than what the Warriors did. But the Nets and the Heat, those are clear to me, man. I mean, those are clear to me. And I don't even hate the Nets for it. I mean, I don't like it.
No, I don't.
NBA, but
no, I don't think that many people hate them, but they're just unlikable.
Oh, they are. No, listen, I absolutely can't stand Harden. I can't stand him. And you know what I think about Kyrie, that flat earth son of a bitch. I can't stand him.
He's the one I can't stand, Kyrie.
Actually, I have more respect for Harden after this year than I did before, just because he changed his game to make it work for that team.
Fair enough. But he really screwed up the Rockets.
He did. He did.
No, listen, these guys are they're selfish sons of bitches, man. I mean, they are, right? But the same could be. See, I think they center their energy around the rich guy that owns the team or upper management.
Oh,
But
yeah,
what
for
they're
sure.
really doing is they're really sinking anybody who's associated with that organization is what they're doing. And I think in their mind in the moment, it's about themselves and perhaps screwing over the people that they think have kind of marginalized them. But in turn, they're also making it pretty difficult and terrible for the other folks that are associated with the organization at the end of the day.
They'll spend all their draft capital, right? They acquired Chris Paul, couldn't get Chris Paul to work, and then forced them to get Russell. Russell was a disaster. I don't know. It's just like the whole thing was a disaster.
You know what?
They were so close though.
I'm not going to feel too bad for a team owner when they're left holding the bag after making poor decisions.
I didn't say that.
Yeah.
I said the rest of the people that are associated with the organization. Yeah. So the other players, there could be young players on that team that are going to reap the negative effects of that, all because selfish ass Harden wants to go win his championship with someone else. I think that's part of the problem, is this selfish sort of me first mentality. And that's what you see in the NBA now. Is this me first, all about me, and they kind of veil it in this super team type of thing, like we're going to take care of each. Fuck you, man! You just screwed over a bunch of other people.
Exactly.
So let's move on to NFL COVID.
Damn it, Mouse.
All right, Leon, you want to frame this up?
Yeah. So now the NFL is stating that any team that has a COVID outbreak with unvaccinated players is subject to forfeiture if the breakout happens if the breakout starts with unvaccinated players. Now you're starting to see teams also institute mandatory vaccinations. We've seen one of the assistant O-line coaches from Minnesota quit over this.
Did he quit or was he fired?
No, he quit.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think
he quit, but he's really fighting the policy.
Yeah.
Right? So they required all their staff to get the vaccine. He didn't want to do it. So either way, they're parting ways. Mm-hmm. So whether he was fired or he left, how you guys kind of feel about this? Because we saw a lot of rescheduled games last year. So
I'm probably going to have a different take on this one. But I do think I don't necessarily like it, but I do understand why they want to take this approach. Because there's got to be accountability for each respective team to hold their respective players accountable to how they're handling themselves. Mm-hmm. Because again, similar to the whole super team discussion around the me first attitude, this is about other people. And I think, when it comes down to it, the NFL has an opportunity to kind of manage the league from this level, right? Uh-huh. And as it's coming down, everybody's supposed to be managing their piece. Yeah. So I do understand the thought process behind this. Now, does that mean I necessarily agree with it? I'm not going to go as far as to say I agree with it, but I understand it, and I understand the thought process because if you're at the top of the chain and you're trying to impact the bottom of the chain, there's levels to it.
Yeah.
And you've got to hold each level accountable to hold their respective levels accountable. And then everybody stays nice and clean. Mm-hmm. And the only way to motivate these respective organizations to manage their people the right way is to say, listen, you're going to lose some games because of this. You're going to lose some money because of this.
There's one strange part about the rule that I find kind of weird. And it's whatever happens, if the game is canceled, both teams don't get paid. That's kind of crazy to me.
That's just because there's no TV revenue coming in for that game.
Yeah, right? But if I'm scheduled to play you and you forfeit, why do I not get paid for
Leon, but that's how accountability sort of works.
Yeah,
I guess.
So because what ends up happening is it creates this culture where everyone is holding their respective organizations accountable and each other accountable.
And even other organizations?
Yeah, because at the end of the day, it's money, dude. So they're looking at each other like, hey, listen, man, you may be my competitor, you may be my adversary, but I want to make something clear. We need to work together here to make our millions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because you're also risking my life my family's life, anybody I come into contact's life, if you're not vaccinated and you do start an outbreak.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna make it accountable on you to make sure that I get paid, you get paid, everybody gets paid. Now the NFL is not going to come out and force the players to get vaccinated.
Yeah.
I don't think that's legal, right? Legally?
Well,
it's kind of iffy. Yeah. They kind of could if they kind of wanted to, but I don't think they'll get to that point.
The Players Association wouldn't allow that.
Yeah, wouldn't allow that. Yeah.
Right.
I'll tell you one. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think getting into the depths of that, would be for what we could talk about for a long time. But when you think about it, I think about any sort of sports team that I've ever been involved with or watched. Mm-hmm. If you had one person that fell out of line, right? What did the coach usually do to the rest of the team?
Team lapse.
Team lapse, suicides.
Team lapse. And it's somewhat the same. I mean, this is sports.
Yeah.
Right. And I think I do think that's part of the thought process behind it. But I mean, this sucks because I'm just worried about like another disjointed season.
Yeah.
And that's what the NFL is trying to prevent here because
of course,
bottom line, they're protecting their bottom line. And if they don't have a product to put on the field, they're not making money.
And fans become less engaged, right? They become less engaged. When you have this worry that at any second they can pull the plug on something, do you ever feel fully invested?
No.
I'm always worried.
Yeah.
So I haven't felt – I love sports, but I felt less invested than I ever have
last year
since COVID came around.
Yeah.
Well, it stopped the routine, number one, right? Then the no fans. And then even for me, being Canadian, my teams haven't played at home in fucking it feels like 2 years now.
Yeah.
Right?
You couldn't have gone to the game anyway.
Yeah, that too.
They play in Toronto.
Right. But then even with the NFL, they were just shifting. Okay, we're going to move the Thursday game to Saturdays. The Sunday game to Monday, and then the Monday game.
And that's another thing they're trying to avoid because last year they had an extra week built into the season that they can move stuff around. This year, the entire season's back. And they said they're not going to add a 19th week because of the playoffs and the schedule. They've already expanded the regular season. So they do not have a lot of room to move these games around. So they're basically saying, if you can't play because you guys aren't, they're only going to get fined if they're violating protocols.
Yeah.
If you're violating protocols with unvaccinated players and you can't play, you're not getting paid. Is essentially what they're doing.
Yeah. And you know what? I kind of understand it.
I also feel like everyone's stats are all thrown off, right? We're used to judging people on like a set number of games. And, now everyone's only played like half a season in certain like sports, like even baseball.
It's created this uncertainty in so many different ways that you just the investment and the NFL doesn't want to see that happening
at all.
Yeah.
They want people invested in the product. All right. Well, let's move on. Good topic.
God damn it.
We're gonna get into MLB predictions. So I don't know. I think this has been listen, there's been a lot. We talked a little bit about some of the surprises last week, right? I think it was last week we talked about the surprises and who we thought like kind of overachieved and so on and so forth. But let's talk a little bit about who we think is going to win each respective division, and then our World Series predictions in terms of who will be there. We won't go as far as say who will win, but who will be there. So why don't we start, Kyle?
Yeah,
in the AL East.
So the AL East, as it currently stands, Red Sox been playing great ball, so I'll stick with them, man. I didn't expect them to play this well coming into the year, but we spoke about this before. Alex Cora, to me personally, is the main reason why they've been so good. He's just he gives them that life, that confidence to play, and those are the type of managers you actually want to play for. So I'm gonna go with them. I think Boston has the hold. I know Tampa just traded for Nelson Cruz, which is gonna help them.
Yeah,
but I'll still go with Boston.
Where are you going, Leon?
I don't want to say Boston, but I'm unfortunately going to say Boston. I thought Tampa made a really strong move acquiring Nelson Cruz, but then they're also giving away Rich Hill for almost nothing, which was kind of confusing to me. He's having an okay year. They do have Archer coming back soon eventually, but I don't know if you can trust him at this point.
Archer's never been the same, man.
Yeah. The Blue Jays can't seem to string a long enough winning streak to really close the gap or anything, but I think Boston, them getting Chris Sale back in their lineup is humming. I'm gonna have to, take the unboring pick and stick with Boston.
Jason, who you got?
Sure, Boston.
So I'm going with Boston. It's not because I'm a Boston fan. It's because I think Chris Sale is going to come back strong. His 2 outings in the minors have been very strong. I think this team is built. They're resilient. They win in extra innings. They don't go away. But I think Toronto's a few years away. Honestly, I think Toronto's going to be a force to be reckoned with. It's just not this year. And Tampa Bay, they're the team that worries me. They're the team that I think could put some pressure because they're built to be a pain in everybody's ass. That's what they're built to do. And every single year they're a pain in the fucking ass. And I don't think this year's any different. But I think unanimously we say Boston here. But I do think there's a chance Tampa Bay wins the division. How about the AL Central? Right now we got the White Sox leading. And it's I don't know if this one's really
not even close. Yeah, the White Sox going away.
We can skip this division.
Yeah, I'm going White Sox, man.
Yeah.
The AL West though is a little bit different, a little bit tighter. So you got Houston in first place, you got Oakland in second. Then off in the distance you've got Seattle, and then you've got an ultra top heavy team in LA. That's not even
close
shot at the division. But they're exciting to watch. So in the AL West, Leon, who do you have?
I think Houston runs away with this one. They're still missing Justin Verlander. I don't know if he's scheduled to play at all this year, if he's coming back during the playoffs or anything. Yeah, but they still got Greinke at the top. Lance McCullers is pitching real well, and their lineup top to bottom, they're just hard to get out.
And they
trash cans or no trash cans.
They sport a gigantic run differential.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean they mash the ball.
Yeah. They're gonna probably want to add a bullpen arm, but what top team isn't looking to add some bullpen help at this point, right? But yeah, Houston's looking really good.
How about you, Jason?
I'll go with Oakland. I want them to give that city a nice little send off on their way out the door. So let's make the playoffs, lose in the first round like always, and move to Las Vegas.
All right, Kyle, who you got?
As much as I don't want Houston to win the division because I can't stand them, Altuve, I just want to. But
put them in your pocket.
I know, right? Just hide them. But no, I'll say Houston. They have, like you guys said, their offense. They absolutely rake. McCullers Jr. is another good pitcher for them. They got Greinke, and I feel like they're a team that if they need to go get something, they're more prone to do it than Oakland would, because we know Oakland is a team that they tend not to go out and they're low. They're
built
team.
On not spending.
Exactly, they don't spend, so I feel like they're not as prone to make a move if need be as Houston would. So that's why I'll go with Houston.
Yeah, I'm going Houston. I don't need to explain why. I just think Houston is the far more talented team and they can mash. So let's move over to the National League, fellas. We got the New York Mets in the NL East, and listen, this is not a good division. This is clearly not a good division. You got Philly 4 games out and Atlanta 5 games out right now. Who you guys got? Let's start with Jason this time. Jason, who you got in that division?
Well, unfortunately, I think my Braves are out of the race, especially after Acuna went down.
Yeah.
I think the Mets pitching is probably way too strong for anybody to catch them by the end of the year. So I'll unfortunately go with the Mets.
All right. Leon, who you got?
I'm sticking with the Mets. They got the best pitcher in baseball. He is injured right now. They added Rich Hill. They had a couple former Blue Jays in Stroman, Tejan Walker, and former prospect. Syndergaard hasn't played yet. If they can get him back any type of healthy, their offense really kind of sucks. So if they can kind of figure that out, I mean, if DeGrom just got any sort of run support, like the guy's almost unbeatable, like video game stats, right? But yeah, it'd be interesting to see. They just beat the Blue Jays today, 3-0. The Mets could be a fun team to watch. They're the underdog. I like cheering for them.
Yeah, I'll say the Mets. Oh, go ahead, Pierre. Sorry.
No. I was going to ask you what your
yeah,
thoughts
no,
were.
I'll say the Mets as well. Obviously, DeGrom and I'm just gonna say their owner, he's willing to spend. So if they got to go, if the Cubs are in a fire sale, which it looks like, who knows? The Mets might go out there and make a splash for Chris Bryant, even a Javi
just
Baez
buy the
or
whole
somebody.
team.
Yeah, they can exactly. So I don't. And like you said, with the other teams, with Acuna being done for the rest of the year, Philly, their bullpen just absolutely sucks. So. Yeah, I would say the Mets are going to win this division almost by default.
And Lindor hasn't really even done anything.
He's out for like 6 weeks now as well with an oblique injury.
I don't really have any logic to what I'm about to say.
Uh-oh.
I don't really have any logic. I've been watching enough baseball to know that the Mets are gonna fall apart.
That's not surprising. They're one blister on Thor's finger. I think the Phillies are going to win the East.
Ooh,
there's something
really?
I just don't believe in this Mets team, man. And I think, listen, you can, even if DeGrom is healthy,
he only pitches
once every 5 days, man. I mean, I don't.
Their pitching is not bad though.
I don't believe, but their offense is terrible.
Their offense is horrendous.
And I'll tell you, they're not like. They don't have the balance, and I'm not going to say the Phillies do either.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think the best team in that division on paper is Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just their pitching and their bullpen is absolute terrible. Right now.
It's a tough sell without Acuna though. That's the
problem. That's the problem. Otherwise, I would say that 5-game lead is surmountable.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
But without him, it's insurmountable.
I mean, you're plugging in
Jock Peterson,
and who knows when we'll see back. Ozuna will be back. If not, whatever. That's a whole other sticky situation.
Their bullpen can't win games. Their bullpen can't hold games.
My money's on the Phillies.
Yeah.
I don't know,
it's
man.
Doable. It's only 4 games, right? They could definitely do it.
And are they still serving the penalties for like the draft tampering and all that stuff that they're doing? I know they lost a couple picks, pretty high picks for the overspending and all that stuff. Like they don't really got a lot of stuff coming.
Really
Ain't gonna really do much.
No, not for a few years.
Now, but I'll say this: my bet's on the Phillies here.
Okay.
All right, moving on to the Central. You got Milwaukee in first place. This is much like the AL Central.
Milwaukee.
Milwaukee is my choice here. I don't know if there's any argument there.
The Cubs are turning into sellers.
Yeah,
they're like a game under 500, but they're going to sell off the entire team. Cardinals have been a huge disappointment so far this year.
Mm-hmm. Arenado's not really done anything. Goldschmidt's not really done anything for them.
I mean, the Reds are in second place for crying out loud.
It's the Reds.
The Brewers are going to run away with this.
Yeah.
And it's scary when you look at that division's run differential. It's insane.
Yeah,
it's insane. They get everybody below Milwaukee gets bludgeoned.
Yeah.
They're not a good division
at all. No.
It's similar to the AL Central, I would say.
Yeah. Very, very top heavy with the one team. Now, when you go to the AL, the NL West, you got San Francisco in first place, which I think is a surprise the most, right?
Yeah.
They're 3 games out in front of LA. And then you got San Diego kind of lingering there at 5.5 games out. And then obviously Colorado and Arizona are out of it. I'll start this time.
Arizona's going to make up those 32.5 games.
They're on pace to the worst record ever.
They're fucking terrible. But I'm going to say, and this isn't unpopular what I'm about to say, but I think the Dodgers are going to end up pulling this one out. I do believe that they're going to end up pulling this out. Listen, this is a close race. So those two teams are very evenly matched.
Yeah.
I mean, when you look at them in totality,
they have to get, or at least they have to demote Kenley Jansen from the.
Yeah. Listen, without all right, you solidify him, right? Or you have at least a a passable closer, which he's not right now.
No.
We're talking probably a tie in this division, or maybe even the
Dodgers
with a couple of games ahead, right?
Yes, correct.
I mean, but would have, could have, should have. I mean, at the end of the day, San Francisco's on top, but if they can rectify, if the Dodgers can get the back end of their bullpen rectified, I don't think San Francisco is going to be able to withstand it. That's my opinion.
Yeah. They're not deep enough.
No,
they're not deep enough. I mean, they got to pay the Kings ransom right now and go get Craig Kimbrell. I mean, if you have to take on Chris Bryant or whatever, do whatever you got to do.
Chris Bryant, it's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever. Do what you got to do. I mean, like you're defending champs, right? That's your one hole. So that's your job. You got to fix that right now.
San Francisco, and let's not underestimate them either, right? Like, I got to make sure I check myself, because that they have a winning sort of pedigree, post 2000, right? I mean, winning pedigree, man. I mean, they're not. It's an organization that's used to winning too. I mean, I think
kind of like the Spurs, right?
That. Huh?
Kind of like the Spurs. They're like a good system. They're not super exciting.
Super exciting, yeah.
Yeah.
You think
post 2000,
post 2000, like the organization that have won the most have been the Red Sox and San Francisco.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. They've always been built on pitching, right?
Yeah.
Like,
now they probably have
one of the best pitchers in the game.
Second best starter in the National League.
Yeah.
And he's healthy.
Yep.
They picked him up the scrap heap too. I mean, I don't think going into the year most people thought Kevin
same
Gausman
scrap
was
heap that Lance Lynn was.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lance Lynn. All right, so fellas, that was fun. Let's move on to awards predictions. Right? Did you have something else, Jason?
Yeah, I didn't get my prediction for the NL West.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I think the Dodgers are going to end up pulling it out. Although I don't think it really matters. I mean, both these teams are 1-2 in the NL and record-wise. So, I mean, at the end of the day, are we going to remember who won the 2021 NL West division race? I think the Dodgers, they're willing to spend money. They're going to go spend their money to plug their holes. And, they're going to.
Well, San Diego spent a lot of their money in the offseason, right? They acquired some big pieces. So I think a lot of their shopping's done. But they can kind of hang around, man. Tatis, any team that has Tatis, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, listen. So before we wrap up, I forgot about this. Before we move on to the awards, let's go with our World Series matchup predictions.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So let's start with Leon here. Leon, what's your World Series matchup prediction?
So I'm gonna pick with my heart a little bit. Give me the White Sox, and I'm gonna go with the stunner, San Diego.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with in the AL. I'm gonna go with Houston over Boston, only for the fact I believe their pitching is a little bit better. I feel like the offenses kind of cancel each other out. They're both great offenses. And in the NL, I'm gonna go with the Dodgers. I actually think the Dodgers are gonna end up going to the World Series.
All right, Jason, who you got?
I'll go Dodgers and Red Sox.
I'm going Houston, San Francisco. I think San Francisco, even though they won't win that division, I think they're going to end up in the World Series against Houston. So we'll mark those down.
Yeah, I'm writing them down right now. Kyle, who did you have?
I had Houston and LA.
Houston, LA. Perfect. So I got everyone's down. We'll revisit that in a couple months. A couple months.
Major League Baseball's hoping for Boston versus Dodgers. That's
for sure.
Oh, of course they are. I'm hoping for it. All right, awards predictions. So, let's do American League first. We'll go Cy Young and MVP, and then we'll do that in the National League before we move on to the last topic of the evening. So, let's start with Cy Young. Who you guys got in the AL for the Cy Young Award? Let's start with Kyle.
So Cy Young, I'm gonna go with Garrett Cole. I mean, he's having the best season out of all the American League starters. Lance Lynn is a close second. I think Ohtani would be in the conversation if he had more innings pitched and more games pitched as well. but I'll go with Cole on that. And then for the MVP, I'm going to go with Ohtani. What he's doing offensively, what he's doing as a pitcher, I mean, he's just incredible. So I'll go with Garrett Cole and Shohei Ohtani.
Nice. Jason, who you got?
I'm going to go with Ohtani for both awards. First time ever.
Ooh.
Give me a tough sell, though.
I know pitching wise, he doesn't have nothing.
Ohtani, pitching wise, I don't see it, but
no, I don't see it either. But I want it to happen, so that's what I'm going to go with.
You're going to wish it to happen.
I'm going to wish it. They're going to start riding his arm down the stretch, and he's going to go 15-0 the rest of the way and catch up to everyone.
Yeah, listen, I would love to see Lance Lynn win the Cy Young in the AL. The problem is the sexy stats aren't there behind him. So the strikeouts aren't there, and that's the stuff. Like chicks dig the home run, and they also when they're looking at pitchers, they dig the strikeouts. I mean, but when you look at just plain old ERA, Lance Lynn is sub 2 in the American League, which is pretty crazy.
He also plays in the Central Division.
Yeah, but he's still in the American League, and the American League is not easy to pitch to, man. It's different, right? So we all know that the American League doesn't have, has the DH. You don't have that 1 out per 9 guys. That's just an easy out. It's tough, man, to have a sub 2 ERA in the American League, and but I still, as much as it pains me, man, Garrett Cole is probably that guy. Now, from an MVP standpoint, I think it's really in my opinion, it's a 3-player race. I think it's Ohtani. I think it's and people are gonna think it's because I'm a Red Sox fan, but I think it's Ohtani. I think it's Devers, and I think it's Vlad Guerrero. I think those are the 3 players that at the end of the year are going to be there, because I do believe, guys like Devers are going to rack up 130 RBIs, and it's going to be hard to ignore a guy with 40 home runs, 130 RBIs, and batting, sub a little bit under 300. But him and Vlad are going to have those sorts of numbers, and without them on their respective teams, those teams are nothing. But Ohtani is going to end up getting it because, and I'm sorry, but Ohtani is going to be the tough guy to beat every single year if he continues to pitch and hit.
Yep.
It's going to be tough. Because
it's hard to weigh it, right?
It's hard to weigh it because it's not seen anymore. So I almost think every other player in the American League is going to be at a disadvantage if this guy pitches well. Yeah. I mean, really, you're going to have to start to think about, all right. But then, some people are going to probably, find a way to taint that in some way, shape, or form. But that's the tough part about it, man. How do you measure it? And I do believe he's going to put the rest of the league at a disadvantage. But my choices are Garrett Cole and Shohei. Leon, how about you, man?
So I'm gonna do the homer pick. I'm gonna take Vlad for AL MVP. Even though if season were to end today, Ohtani's the winner. I just think just him being in the routine is gonna help him down the stretch. Whereas Ohtani, all the credit to him, man. Like he's hitting a couple of the games, takes the day off, then he pitches. It's completely wild. We've never seen it before. I want him to win both, but I'm just gonna take my guy Vlad.
As much as I would love to see. I actually like Vlad. I don't see. There's not a chance, man.
Not a chance that he wins MVP.
No.
Okay. Well, I mean, we'll see.
This
see.
Ohtani story and this performance is an unstoppable freight train. The only thing that can stop this right now is an injury.
That's what I'm thinking.
That's it. The only thing. The only way you're right is he gets hurt.
Injured.
I'm not hoping, but I'm building that into my calculated
but you want to see your guy win. You want to see your guy win.
Yeah. I mean, if he's top 3 in the Triple Crown.
Now, and I think Rice makes a great point. Rice makes a great point here. Like if let's say Vlad wins the Triple Crown.
Yeah.
How can you not name
him? Well, you could if Ohtani goes down the stretch and when it goes like 6-0 with a 0.5 ERA or something.
Fair.
And racks up 40
the good thing
runs.
About baseball is that both of these guys are set up to do this almost every year moving forward, right?
Yep.
That's what is insane.
As long as Ohtani stays healthy and Vlad keeps his weight down.
Yep.
Yeah.
All
right. And then for Cy Young, I'm just gonna go off the board. I don't know. For some reason, I like it when relievers win the Cy Young, so I'm just gonna take Liam Hendricks from Down Under.
Oh, come on. Really?
Yeah, fuck it.
All right.
Long shots.
You've been talking to TJ too much.
He's the one that got away. If the Blue Jays had him, man, it would shore up a lot of our problems.
All right, let's move over to the National League, guys. We'll start this time with you, Leon, since we ended with you. So your choice for Cy Young and MVP.
So I'm going to do what Jason did, but I'm going to bet on DeGrom. So I'm going to do DeGrom for a sweep. Give me on both.
Pitcher winning MVP, huh?
Yeah, fuck it.
Nice.
Even with Tatis? I don't know, man.
The only way that's going to happen is if they win their division.
I mean, he's got to get healthy first, right? This is. I realize I'm betting a real big long shot, but
so Leon, let me just ask. So Tatis is leading the NL in home runs with 29.
Mm-hmm.
He's leading the NL with stolen bases with 23. He's got 75 runs scored, number one. He's got the highest slugging percentage. He's got the highest OPS. And you're betting against. You're saying a pitcher is going to win the MVP award when you have a player that is racking up those sorts of numbers.
Yeah. That's his choice.
Well, no. It's not happening.
Gotta see how it plays out.
It's not
I'm
happening.
not saying it's likely happening.
Listen, the only way a pitcher wins. No, I know, but Leon, in all honesty, right? The only way a pitcher wins the MVP award is if there's no real notable offensive player.
It doesn't happen.
This guy is playing fantastic baseball, and the way the voters are going to look at it, right, is in the absence of a guy doing that, right?
They don't like to give it to both.
No, they don't want to, especially when they know, like, hey, he's going to get the Cy Young.
Yeah,
and you've got this.
I'm with you.
You know what I mean? It's just not going to happen, man.
That's fair. I'm just going off the board. It might not be smart, but I'm just
he is probably the best player in the National League, but
who is DeGrom?
Yeah,
he's the best pitcher in the National League.
For what he means for his team, though, he is.
I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that. I don't know if I agree with that. Then how come they're not winning World Series?
Well, he only pitches once every 5 days. If
he
pitched every day,
that's my point.
He'd be undefeated.
That's my point.
So even the games he pitches, they don't score for him. So
listen, I think it's extremely important to have a great pitcher like that can be a stopper. Okay.
Yeah.
But if you have the opportunity to have someone like Tatis that's going to impact every single game.
Correct.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's hard, man. It's tough. It's tough to pick between the two. But I will say there's not a chance in fucking hell that DeGrom wins the MVP.
Yeah.
Not when you have a player like Tatis playing the way he is, unless he, again, gets injured.
Mm-hmm.
But I understand where you're coming from, Leon. Trying to poke a little bit. Like
I'm not trying to poke anyone. I'm just, I'm just going.
No, I didn't say you're trying to poke somebody. I said you're trying to.
I'm going for the long shot. If I hit, then I hit.
Yeah, I know. Because there's no loss in this, right? What's the worst thing that happens? I tell you, I told you so.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not like we're losing money on this. All right. All right. So I don't even know where we left off. So Leon went first. So
yeah, I know stuff.
Jason, who you got? You're gonna go with DeGrom as MVP as well?
No. I'm not even going within a Cy Young. I'm going off the board a little bit, just because I don't think the Mets will end up very well this season. Although I did pick them to win the division, whatever. I think I'm going to go with Walker Buehler.
Ooh, Walker Buehler.
Yeah,
it would be crazy though, if the two pitchers won Cy Young and MVP. I don't think that's ever happened.
Yeah.
So I'll go with Walker Buehler for Cy Young, and then for MVP, I don't know how you can't pick Tatis Jr.
Tatis.
Yeah. Damn, man. I mean, you.
I think
the only way you would be able to pick, like Leon said, Jacob DeGrom for both is if he was going, like, let's say he's he goes on the season 20-1 with like a 1 point something ERA.
You'd have to
possibly, but I still think it wouldn't even happen.
If Pedro Martinez didn't win the MVP award.
Yeah, that year in 98, right?
Yeah.
99 was it?
99, when he had that sub 2 ERA, when every steroid freak.
Of course.
Or Randy Johnson never won an MVP. I mean, I don't know,
What's the last pitcher to win the MVP?
Kershaw.
Was it Kershaw?
Yeah.
And that was in the absence.
Dominant. Yeah.
I think that was like 2014.
Yep. And it was in the absence. Like there wasn't.
There
were good offensive players, but it wasn't to the level of what Tatis is doing.
Right.
And DeGrom, don't forget, what's DeGrom? What DeGrom has been injured.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, twice.
Mm-hmm. It's different now though because the DL stint is a little shorter, so I don't think I in my head mental weigh it as hard. But we'll see. Like if he comes back and continues to pitch at like he's got video game numbers on right now. It's stupid.
Yeah, but again, that's what the Cy Young Award is for. I think for me, listen, I'm one of the guys, and I'm not a baseball purist, but I'm someone that believes the two awards are somewhat separate. I do.
That's fair.
Because it's hard to compare those two. Like we just tried comparing what's more important, a stopper that is going to pitch every 5 games and just give you lights out pitching, or a guy who literally can impact every single game he plays in.
Yep.
That's fair. I like the rule breakers. I like it when relievers win, like when Eric Gagne won the Cy Young. I like stuff like that. But that's just me. I don't know. I hate rules and stuff.
I mean, if we didn't have a Cy Young award, I think we'd have an argument maybe. But the writers see that there is a whole award for pitchers. So they very, very rarely, if ever, give it to.
Yeah. So Jim's Brims is saying the last time it's happened where both pitchers won MVPs was 1968. Well, it's not common.
What was that? Bob Gibson and Denny McClain. I don't remember who it was that year.
Yeah.
Who was it? But that's also when the offenses were not the same. I mean,
nowhere near,
man. I mean, you can't deny. Listen, when I say it out loud, right? Tatis 29 home runs, number 1 in the National League. 23 stolen bases, number 1 in the National League. 75 runs scored, number 1 in the National League. Slugging percentage, 643, number 1 in the National League. And even when you get into the only hole in his game right now is his on base percentage. No, his on base percentage.
Okay.
The dude doesn't walk very much.
Fair. But defense very rarely factors into MVP anyway.
No.
Denny McClain, Bob Gibson.
Was I right?
Yeah,
Denny McClain won 27 games, I believe, with the Detroit Tigers that year.
He went 31-6.
31-6. Holy shit.
With a 1.96 ERA.
Jesus Christ. And Bob Gibson.
And
was it a 1.48 ERA or something like that?
So
it was super
22-9 with a 1.12.
1.12. That's insane.
Yeah.
They had to change the mound after that.
They had to change the mound.
They lowered the mound. Yep.
Yeah. So we're talking about like extraordinary circumstance.
13 shutouts that year. Holy shit.
It's different though, man. They played complete. They all threw complete games.
Yeah.
It's insane. Yeah. So they were never leaving the game in the hands of a reliever.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right. Still,
that's insane, incredible. Man. That is insane. But yeah. I mean, that was great, guys. That was a great discussion. Did I miss anybody? Did we get through everything?
We got everyone's.
Yeah.
Well,
Except yours.
My Cy Young is going to be Gosman out of San Francisco, and I think the reason why is I think if there is something to be said if a guy doesn't pitch enough innings to qualify for certain things, and you're a starter.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I have a feeling DeGrom's heading there.
Yeah.
Well, if he doesn't get back soon, he's definitely out of the.
Well, here's the one thing that benefits DeGrom is that the Mets are in first place.
Yeah.
So if they were in third place, they'd probably be like, all right, hang it up, dude. You're too much of an investment. We need you to just get healthy. But if they're in first place and they're trying to win something, there's more incentive to not dial it in.
Yeah.
So to speak.
So,
that's just my opinion. That's it. So let's move on to the last topic, guys, before we wrap up for the evening. This is a pretty quick topic.
Yeah, late break-in bonus topic.
Well, clip art has never looked more glorious.
This is the Guardians. They still kept the DIANS at the end.
Yeah.
Here's the good thing in all this, right?
They
ushered out
exactly.
Yes.
That whole Indians thing, and
Yep.
Correct.
I've said this before: a race of people should not be a mascot. Okay, so and Indians isn't even the right term. I mean, it's like not. It's good. That's good, but I mean, the possibilities there were so many fantastic possibilities, and fine, if you want to go Guardians. Okay, fine, go Guardians.
The name in itself isn't that bad, but like to do something that's 50 years overdue, and this is what you come. This is like when you hand in your homework late.
I'm not worried about Guardians. I want to be clear. I don't mind the name.
Yeah,
because it's also, I think it has to do with statues that are on a bridge entering the city of Cleveland, right?
Gotcha.
They actually that bridge ends up right outside Progressive Field,
and they're good looking, right? The statues,
they're awesome statues,
badass looking statues. My problem is that fucking logo.
Yeah,
logo's terrible,
and that font, everything about all three of them suck.
No, I like the font.
You like the font? I feel like they owe some money to the Wichita Wind Surge.
Oh, whatever. It's because
it doesn't even look like the Wichita Wind Surge to me. I read that somewhere today too in a chat, and I don't see it.
No. No, the C, especially the C, the block C had to go. It was terrible. Yeah. But what they did is they actually pulled in elements from the bridge.
Yeah.
The arch at the top is from the bridge. They pulled in elements from the 48 and what other year did they win the world championship back then? But they pulled in some of the elements from those logos back then to make that block C and to make the font. So I think they're tying into their baseball history, the name itself. I think they did a good job with the font. I like the name. It's very, very specific to Cleveland. And that logo absolutely needs to go. And I heard that is kind of just a placeholder logo for now. They're going to unveil their actual.
Why wouldn't they do the fucking right one? Like, well, what is this? Some sort of teaser? Like, look at this thing, man. I don't know. Like, what is?
Are they using it this year at all? Or it's got to be a next year thing.
It's next year,
but
2022.
Doesn't correct me. I want to know if you guys feel the same way I do. But that logo in the lower right? This
it's
clip art ball with the G and the wings and shit.
Like holding.
Doesn't this look like Tommy's local bar put together a softball team, and this is like Johnny's version of their logo? Like, it doesn't make any. It looks like
it's whatever's below minor league baseball. It feels like.
Yeah.
No, below that. Like, this is
below that. I'm saying, below that.
Yeah, like we play Sunday softball, and this is the logo we came up with.
Yeah, that.
I think it's supposed to be like like a head with like.
So it's
two-seam fastball or something.
It is a nod to the split finger fastball.
Okay.
For the rich pitching history.
Oh my God!
The Guardians are surrounding the ball, protecting it, guarding it, and then obviously the wings on the G are pulled from the helmets of the Guardians that are on the bridge.
All right, it gets worse every time you tell me more.
I went pretty in depth on this change.
No, I'm not listening. I'm certainly not.
No, we appreciate it.
I appreciate your detail. Sure. What I'm saying is the thing sucks. I don't care what you tell me about this thing.
But a lot of times, whenever teams change stuff, like the first reaction is
it's like, it's like, oh, what is that?
You kind of have to see how the uniforms play out, how the colors. I mean,
I don't have to see nothing. This thing is terrible.
Yeah. They kept the same colors. Like, it just feels kind of half-assed, you know?
What was the other name that was out there? I think it was Spiders, right?
Spiders. That was.
I would like the Cleveland Rockers, man.
Or the Buckeyes. People are saying the Buckeyes potentially.
Too close to Ohio State.
Yeah.
But the Guardians sounds nice, man. I'm not going to complain about that. And I'm with Jason. I actually don't mind the font. I don't mind that they kept something the same.
Mm-hmm.
That logo bothers me.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like so cheap.
The C looks trash.
I really like
the C. What the hell are they supposed to do, Leon?
I don't know.
What's trash about it?
It just looks trash.
It's better
You'd be excited about buying that? A hat?
Yes, it's better than the Cubs C. It's better than the current C. It's not a wishbone, sure, but
yeah,
I like it. They went out and invented their own font.
I don't know, man.
I'll give him props.
I don't mind the C, Leon. Honestly, I think that'll look nice. I think it'll look
that
cool.
logo with the wings is what kills it.
Yeah, I mean that's where you put more of your effort into, man.
Yeah.
Look at that thing, dude. It is amateurish. It looks bad.
Mm-hmm.
What would you rate it overall? The whole
0.
rebrand. The whole rebrand.
whole?
0.
Oh,
A 6.
Letter grade.
A 3.
Letter
grade.
grade.
So that's like a D
Letter
minus,
grade.
basically.
C minus.
I'll give him a C.
Oh, all right. I give him a D plus.
D plus. I think I'm with you. Maybe a D minus. I don't know, man. I'm not really into the Guardians name. I mean, it's not terrible, but the rest of the stuff is all like, it just seems half-assed. Like you would think they'd had a lot of budget to hire some good artists or something.
That Guardians logo down there is literally it's instantly become the worst logo in Major League Baseball.
Yeah. Like they're gonna put that.
I don't think we'll ever actually see that logo make the field.
We better not, because this thing is a joke. That's a joke. It's making me angry just looking at it.
Yeah, and to all the people that said they shouldn't change their name, all that stuff.
No, okay.
Major League Baseball teams, they change their names all the time.
Yeah.
They change their colors.
Yeah, you know what, man?
Like, change their logos all the time.
And not change their name. Give me a fucking break. Like, I don't understand where you have to be in life to not realize a race of people, and an inappropriately named race of people. It's not even what you should be calling Native Americans.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't understand where you are in life where you don't think that's wrong. Like, it's a race of people. Like, what kind of person doesn't understand that? They're not mascots. They're human beings.
Yeah, they're human beings. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
And I heard Notre Dame. Yeah, you're right. Fine. Notre Dame shouldn't. But they shouldn't. Let's just, if we're gonna paint with that brush,
it's
right?
It's not even close.
It's not the same. I get it, but like at the end of the day, man, I mean, I don't understand. I don't understand why people aren't understanding that wasn't appropriate.
Yeah,
I don't. Yeah, it's history. Well, fuck that. We've learned
that
it's
history. That's ridiculous.
Right.
Yeah.
People make mistakes. That's why we have to correct shit all the time.
Yep.
Yeah.
And they call me. I've had people call me a snowflake for taking the stance.
No.
I've had people say, "Let me tell you something, man. I'm far from a snowflake, but I'm just someone who has just decent human empathy." Right. And I also understand when something's wrong. Like I was raised to see things for what they should be. I wasn't raised by parents that ever said anything racially insensitive. Nothing. My parents were so thoughtful and careful about how they spoke about things. And, I was raised differently. I just inherently learned that that's not the way you refer to things. Like, you don't, it's just absurd.
Yeah. And
this is a good change. Poorly executed logo. That's it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, guys, this was a good show, man. I mean, this was an hour and 17 minutes, and Jason complained about not having a lot of adult interaction. Well, Jason, we just hit you with something.
Water cooler talk.
I think I got too much today.
You got too much of it today?
Yeah, me too, man. I'm tired, man. I'm tired. Yeah. I got to work. I got to be up at 5 a.m. tomorrow too. Ooh. So, but I couldn't think of a better way to end my Friday night. So, fun guys, times. Yeah, thank you so much, and for the viewers out there, we'd appreciate it if you gave us a like on the way out. We're going to be doing this every week, and we're going to get some other guests on sometimes, right? Gotta find someone that's got a little fire in their belly too.
Well, because Kyle's going to get us kicked off YouTube because of his language.
I was good today. I don't think anything came out.
30 seconds dropping.
Listen, if I haven't gotten us kicked off yet, you're certain.
That's probably true. That's probably true.
So, guys, this is a lot of fun. Kyle, thank you again for your contributions to the show. We love having you here.
Love being
Jason, aka
Matt Crawler.
Little unitard. Listen, man, I gotta tell you, man, you brought it tonight. Leon, aside from you believing that DeGrom is going to win the MVP when you have a beast like Tatis, like just tearing up the league, aside from that, it was fantastic having this interaction with you tonight.
I'm going for the long shot. Vegas long shot, baby.
I get it. You want to shock and awe us, right, Leon?
$5 to win like 50 grand. Like those kind of bets.
Leon Chen is like shock and awe in like Toronto Blue Jay fan form. All right. Leon, take us away, big fella.
Yeah, make sure you guys drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. Viewsfromthevault.com for your official merch. Check out our podcast, available on all major streaming platforms. Until next time, Leon, Jason, Pierre, and Kyle, we out. Stay fitted, guys.